Good afternoon. As Josh said, my name is Bill Wilson. I'm a member on the Hallway Committee. Been greeted, been fed, been prayed for. Now you're stuck with me. Some of you know me, some of you don't. Those that know me, sorry. Those that don't know me, well, your luck ran out today. So I'm going to talk to you a little bit about Johnston City High School, athletic programs over the years. First, I'm going to introduce myself. Bill Wilson, this is my hometown. Graduated out of this building, this high school, in 1967. So I was born in 1949, the year Coach Holford was playing on the 1949 team as a freshman. My family moved to this town in 1913. My dad's oldest sister graduated from this high school in 1950. She was one of 3 graduates. Next year, her sister graduated, and I think she was one of 5. So the school is expanding rapidly. All of my dad's siblings graduated from here. Both of my sisters graduated from here in 1947 and 1950. I said I graduated in 67. My dad was on the school board for 8 years in 1952 to 1960. My sister taught here 1 year. My dad was on the city council for 20 years. I've had hundreds of cousins graduate from this school. I still have one that teaches here. So my bond and my belief in this town, this school is very deep. I love this place. I graduated from here in 67. I also graduated from SIUC in 1971. A bachelor's degree in what was then called government, now political science. With that degree, I could have stayed working at Warren's IGA, carrying out groceries, stocking shelves. Luckily, I got admitted to law school. I graduated from DePaul University College of Law in 1971 with a Juris Doctorate degree, 1974 with a Juris Doctorate degree in law. I love all my schools, proud to be a graduate of all 3 of them, but I'm most proud of this place right here. It's home, it's where I grew up. What made me what I am. So I am proud and happy to be part of this Hall of Fame committee. Proud to be here today. And I'm proud to talk a little bit about today's inductees, about the school, about our program, athletic program over the years. So Johnston City has a long and proud history in sports and in athletics. And when I look at the 3 individuals who are being inducted today, 2 teams, what I see is nothing but excellence. The 3 individuals participated in everything they could. They were not only good at it, they excelled at it. The 2 teams, the 1999 softball team finished 3rd in state. 49 basketball team made it to state, but for a few twists and turns, I think they would have won the state title. And I think they proved by the game they played that they were the 2nd best team at worst in the state of Illinois that year. So I want to applaud the people that are going in today, the teams that are going in today. They are as good as anybody that's already been inducted. They're as good as anybody that's going to be inducted later. Sorry about that. In my view, they don't take a back seat to anybody. And I forgot to do this before I started. My facts games today are mine. Do not hold them against the school or the administration, school board, teachers, coaches. Specifically, don't hold it against Kathy, or Kim, or Josh. Just hold it against me, whatever I say. Is that okay, Kathy? Athletics, as I said, has been very important here in Johnson City. Even I played sports. Played 2 years of basketball, 4 years of track. I was limited to 2 years of basketball because of rare problems. It was a physiological lot, L-O-T. Layman's terms, lack of talent. I knew I had that disease when as a sophomore sitting on the end of the bench. Coach looked down at me. Next to me was my lifelong friend, Jim Ritchie. I think Danny McClellan and Mendel Zanatti will back me up. Coach looked me square in the eyes and said, "Richie, get in the game." I thought, that's not my name, but he's looking at me. I got up and went the game. Next game, he looked Richie in the eyes, said, "Wilson, get in the game." And he went in. I should have known then, probably basketball wasn't in my future. But for 2 years, I had a great seat watching the game, never had to pay to get into the gymnasium. I had a better time to track. I got a letter, freshman year, varsity letter, my freshman year, junior year, and senior year, I was MVP my senior year. I ran track with Angel Robinson's dad, John, my freshman year. I ran track for stepdad, Danny, sophomore, junior, and senior years. I also ran track with Danny Jchs, wherever he was. Girdle, you on my last team, you were freshman. Coach Holford was my coach my sophomore and junior years. Today, he's going into the Hall of Fame as a freshman player on the 1949 basketball team. He's already in as an individual. So, Coach, congratulations on getting inducted twice. Another one of my coaches is here, Tom Wheeler. He was my coach my senior year along with Dave Lee. I appreciate him and what Dave did for me. They're still my friends. Tom, thank you. As I said, I'm happy to be a small part of this. This Hall of Fame honors those who have excelled in athletics at this school. And it preserves our history. At the first Hall of Fame meeting I was at, the second year of the Hall of Fame, I wasn't here the first year. It was mentioned that all of the records of prior years had been destroyed, lost, unfound anyway. And they asked if anybody would be willing to try to recreate or find records that held in the selection process. I, being retired, having a computer set up, would go ahead and try to do that. So over the last 7 years, that's what I've done. I thought I knew a lot about Johnson City and Johnson City sports, having grown up here. But I found out I didn't know very much. There's a lot of things that I found that amazed me and surprised me. Thought, why didn't I already know that? But I keep finding new things, and it's a great quest. How many of you here went to high school in Johnson City? Raise your hand. A lot of them. Good. Do any of you know the year the high school started? Anybody? Yes?
18.
What year?
18.
started in 1904. In the year 1900, there were 787 people living in Johnston City. So in 1904, they built a school, 1,000 block Monroe Street, where Washington School was when I was in elementary school, junior high. It was 3 stories high. The 3rd floor was for the high school. It was 1904. It was a 3-year curriculum, not 4. 3 years you graduated. So the first graduating class was 1907. 2 boys graduated. A guy named Bearden and a guy named Black. Floyd Henson Black went on to college in Tennessee. Got his 4-year degree, went from there to Amherst, Massachusetts. Got a degree at a seminary school, and then went to Harvard. He got a postgraduate degree. So I suggest to any of you when you're talking to people from another town, ask them if 50% of their school's first graduating class got a degree at Harvard. I will venture a guess that the answer will be no. You can say, my hometown did. The population grew to 3,248 in 1910. 7,137 in 1920. So the population grew 10-fold over 20 years because coal mines were opening. That's why my family came here in 1930. And it was estimated that between 1924 and 25, the population was between 9,000 and 10,000 people. Obviously, the 3rd floor, 3-story schoolhouse was not enough for a town of 7,100 people. That's when they built the school on this property. It opened in October 1920. It's too late to have a football team that year, but they did have a basketball team. So the very first basketball team was the 1920-21 school year, and they finished 10-9. The next fall, they started football. So 21-22 was the first season that school year. They were 4-5. Johnston City had its first undefeated football team in fall of 1924. They were 6-0-3. According to the yearbook, they were the champions of Southern Illinois. How they determined that? That's what they said. And they said they had the first all-state player, somebody named Herman. I don't know if it was, that's his first name or last name, but he was a Lion. Does anybody know who the first state champion in Johnston City sports history was? Greg? Roger? You know? Who? A lot of people would say it was the 1929 basketball team that won the state championship, but it was not. It was a gentleman named George Bunn who won the state pole vault championship in 1928. That was when state tournaments, one class, you were against everybody else in the state. George won it, actually tied. It was a 3-way tie. They all got first place. He went on to play college football and track. When I tried to track him down, I found out he passed away. I found his daughter living in Long Island, New York. Her name is Jean Bundren. Carney is her last name now. I asked her if she had any photos of his athletic. She said she did not because it went fire. Pictures of him when young aren't. So I sent her some copies that I had of yearbooks. And I now have a lifelong friend living in Long Island. But in 1929, the basketball team won the state championship. Between then and 1950, Johnson City made 6 state tournament appearances. First in 29, fourth in 31, third in 36, 38, 49, and 50, they lost the first round. Then there was no super sectional, so it was the 16 teams went to the state tournament. Since 1950, Johnson City has made it back to that Sweet 16 once, 1999. But between those years, Johnson City won 471 basketball games, lost 208. My math, as taught to me by Bob Astrology, says that's a 69.3% winning. Pretty good over a 21 or 22 year period. Between 1929 and 36, their winning percentage was 76%. That's when they won, finished fourth, finished third. Would anybody believe me if I told you that the 36 team that finished third did not win their regional? Between 1935 and 40 or 41, the IHSA decided a lot of good teams were not making it out of their own regional because a lot of the very good teams were bunched together. So they allowed the second place team in regionals to advance to sectionals also. Johnson City lost a barn burner in the regional final event in overtime, 4-2. I don't know, I might have been bored watching that game, I'm not sure. Well, Benton got sent to the Mount Carmel regional, or sectional, for winning. Johnson City, for losing, got sent to the Johnson City section. So they got to play the sectional at home. They won, they went to state, they won their first 2 games there. They then played Decatur. Took the lead with less than a minute to go. 19-18. Back then, you had a tip after every made basket. Johnson City had a tall kid at center, and he got the tip. Johnson City had the ball. Looked like they were going to win, play for the state championship. Gator kid stole it, threw up a long shot, it went in, the horn went off. Johnson City lost 20-19. They then finished third. You go on YouTube, there's an IHSA film of basketball from 1931 through 36 or 38. And on that, you can see the 36 team playing in the state tournament. But Johnson City wasn't good just at basketball. They were good at football. 1929, the team was 7-0. They weren't just 7-0. They scored 295 points and their opponents scored 0. No team had more than 1 first down in any game. 1930, they were 9-0. They scored 235 points, their opponents scored 13. 6 of those were because whoever caught the kickoff in the end zone dropped it, and an El Dorado player fell on it. And in 1931, they were 6-0. So over those 3 years, they were 22-0. Double-figure players from those teams went on to college. 2 of them played professional football, Tony Blazine and Tony Casca. I'd never heard of Tony Casca. I got him committed. There was a petition for him to be admitted into the Hall of Fame. Somebody said, "Who's Tony Casca?" I said, "I don't know," but I went and looked. He finished third in the pole vault in 1929 at the state track meet. He went to Illinois Wesleyan and played football and ran track. He was signed by the Detroit Lions out of college. He was a running back on the Detroit Lions. In and other teams for 4 years. First year he was the Lions. They were the NFL champions. I thought to myself, how does I go up and down to 4,000 people? I think I know everything about sports in Johnson High School, and not know Tony Caskett played for Johnson City and was on an NFL championship team. Where'd that get lost? But he's in the Hall of Fame now. And his son Bill drove all the way from California in his car to come to that Hall of Fame induction ceremony. And he told me his high school coach was a guy named Bill Walsh, I think. Bill Walsh had a pretty good career at the San Francisco 49ers. There was a third player from that group, Dwight Avery. You'll see his picture information on here. He played in college all-star game after graduating from WashU. They beat Green Bay in that. Then champions of the NFL. Chicago Cardinals offered him a contract to play football. He said, I can make more money working in business, and refused the contract. When he played at WashU, that was the Missouri Valley Conference they were in. He was two-time All-Conference in basketball, three-time All-Conference in football. He won the decathlon his senior year at conference track meet. And just to add insult to injury, he was the heavyweight boxing champion. He was pretty good, but he chose business and he did well. So I believe in this Hall of Fame. I hope it will preserve our history, the future. I want you to know that the way the program works is we have petitions. You know somebody that you think ought to be in the Hall of Fame, you pick up a petition, you file it with the school. Once it's on file forever. Because every year somebody will say, I think so-and-so ought to be in. Why'd you put this one in and not that one? Well, we've got over 100 years of people, teams, coaches, and put them all in at once. So our rule is 3 people, 3 teams, 3 individuals can go in each year, plus ties. That's why we have 5 this year. It's a 3-way tie for 3rd place. So 5 are going in this year. But if you think there's somebody that should go in, turn in the petition, eventually, if they're worthy, they'll get in. But today, we're putting in Donnie Gaddis. Donnie and I were neighbors growing up. He was a little snotty-nosed kid across the street who could really play ball. Billy Kendrick, Billy Hill, Angela Robinson. Interesting thing about them is they were in school together. You guys had it covered. 49 team, which was 26-6, and 2 All-Staters, 2 guys. I feel like I know the 49 team because my sister was in the class of 1950. For as long as I can remember, she talked about them. She claimed till the day she died a year ago that the shot that Pete Truman made, that they wouldn't count, claimed he walked. She said it was an error by the referee. Because she was there, she drove to the mine. That morning, picked up my dad, and they went to Champaign to watch the game. That was March 17th, 1949. 2 months later, May 17th, I was born. So I don't remember that game, but I remember what my sister told me. I thought I knew all the guys on that team. I thought I knew Coach Sterrick. And I wish Coach Sterrick could have stayed here because then Greg Sterrick, my teammate, instead of just my friend. But no, we had to play in played for Marion. And the 1999 softball team, 36-3 and finished third in the state. Lindell, you're back. How many more games you got? These are all teams and people that should be here. Glad they're here. I want to congratulate each and every one of them. And with that, it's my honor to introduce to you the first inductee. That's Donnie Gaddis. As I said, we lived across the street from each other on Newton Street. Donnie, you can come on up. On his career accomplishments, it mentions that he was MVP of the basketball team, the baseball team, his junior years. He was also that his senior years. Scored over 1,100 points. He was good at everything he did. After he quit playing his sports, he picked up golf. I don't know how much money he's worth playing golf.
Hey, I want to thank everybody. Okay. I want to thank everybody. I just want to thank everybody that voted for me or whatever, how to do it. There's a few people I want to meet. Coaches I had. Bob Dawes, Dale Taylor, Alvin Tetzinger, Joe Piscali, Dan Jchs, Larry Harrison, Tom Reed. And without them, I wouldn't be here. Thanks a lot. Rick Cotton is going to introduce our next inductee, that's Billy Kendrick.
All right. First off, 1994 graduate, Johnson High School. I was sitting outside one evening with my wife and Billy and Jill, Sloan and Molly, and we were burning the brush pile. And Billy's like, "Hey, getting inducted into the Hall of Fame." I was like, "Well, congratulations." He goes, "Will you talk?" I said, "Well, sure." He looked at Jill. Jill's like, "I told you he would do it." So the first thing I want you guys to recognize is Billy Kendrick, as an individual, does not exist. Billy Kendrick as a teammate, as a husband, as a father, as everything he does, as a worker, that's how he lives his life. At no point in time in Billy Kendrick's career as a person has he ever worried about himself. Okay? Now, with that being said, a couple of things. I've been torn on what I wanted to do to introduce Billy up here. I didn't know how long I could talk, and then, I told him that I've got some really good stories to tell. Didn't let it go. Okay, so a couple of things with Billy. Billy and I started playing Little League together. We played on a team, all right? Cole Kendrick, Jim Cochran, and Chuck Davis were one of our coaches. We were the Marion Toyota sponsored team. We had bright yellow pants. We had a white top, and then we had like a red and yellow hat. that we wore. Okay, first of all, looked like clowns out there in the field, but you knew when we were there. Okay, first thing I remember about Billy is we were battling Bill Smith's Rangers in Little League Baseball. Okay, we're just battling. The thing about Billy is this: Billy was pitcher. Okay, so Billy would go to the game, you warm up. Okay, most pitchers are going to go through 20 minutes. Warm up. Billy go out there, grab baseball, goes as hard as you could. All right, let's go. Okay, so we're out there playing all these games. We come in one time around 4th of July. Show up. Folks like Billy's not going to be able to play today. Well, why not? Billy, in all his infinite wisdom, was letting bottle rockets go out of his hand, not using bottles. And he had a blister just bigger than anything you've ever seen. Right there on the side of his hand, calls like he can't get. Billy didn't get to play that game. Oh, that blister for most people lasts forever. Billy, that's the only game I've ever known to sit as a kid. Okay? So, the other things with him, number one, I know numbers mean something when you look at people, like when you look at the athletes that are inducted today, numbers mean something. Okay? Basketball, scored 1,400 points. Okay? 400 assists. However many rebounds he's got. That's great. Baseball, probably, and he would say, one of the better pitchers to go through here, just natural to pick. Football, okay? That's sort of his bread and butter. Not because he's the greatest athlete. He'll tell you, never the greatest athlete on the field at any given time, okay? But there was no bigger competitor who would step out on the field and play with you on a daily basis. Now, if you're going to pitch Washington Billy, he's going to do everything he can beat you. If you're going to pitch horseshoes, he's going to do everything he can beat you. He's not going to beat you in a race, okay? He's not going to do that kind of stuff. But if you get on the field, just the sheer desire to win, that's who he is. Okay? Now, as you sit back and as a graduate of this school, and you start thinking about some of the people that have been through here and some of the things they've done, okay? People like Billy Kendrick don't always get the recognition because he's not on social media saying, I did this when I was in school, or look at what these guys did. There's not videos of him playing, okay? For him, all right, the biggest thing that you're going to notice with him is he's got 3 girls going through John C. High School, okay? Zoe, Junior, great athlete. Sloan, Molly, they're coming, okay? He's going to be more happy as a father of an athlete that's going to his alma mater to play in a sport than anything he can get as far as recognition goes to what he did in the sport, okay? Now, one thing I have to say with Billy, well, 2 things. Number one, if you were to watch Billy walk from that door to that door in high school, and you walk behind him, you would pick up a pocket knife, you would pick up keys, you would pick up a sock, you would pick up a shirt, you would pick up. The man could drop stuff anywhere he went. He never had control of everything that was in his pockets or his hand. Books, paper, couldn't keep his hands off. Okay? So we hunted a lot together. I have more hunting knives come from his pocket than anybody could even imagine because he simply would drop them and I would pick them up. He would have no clue, he just would get them up. Okay? Change. If you were somebody panhandling on the street and you need to change, he probably had pockets just absolutely deep and full of it because he'd never pull it out of there, it would just fall out for him. Okay? And then the next thing. I don't know how his mom did it. Okay? You watch old film, and Tom Wheeler is an old film guy. Okay? You watch old film on Johnson City High School in 92 and 93. I have never in my life seen more gleaming white jersey on an individual than what Billy had. Literally, the boy would come to a football game, and everybody would think kind of grass stained, you know, and here's Billy in this lily white jersey every single game. Like, it didn't stink, now part of that is because he ran further away from people trying to get him faster than he did his mom cleaning him. But with those things being said, as a Johnson City graduate, and as somebody that I consider a dear friend of mine, and family that I consider a dear friends of mine, you cannot go wrong with the nomination that was put forward and the absolute acceptance of him going to the Hall of Fame. Now, with that being said, I'm going to tell you guys, him having to walk up here and the spotlight being on him, even at the age he's at right now, it's humbling. Okay, if we could have more players and kids like the people that are talking today, it would be fantastic. So, it gives me great pleasure to introduce a good friend of mine to this year's class of Hall of Fame, Billy Kendrick.
another, right? School teacher or somebody passing on the road. It all pointed me right. Thank everyone else for that. Randy Dawes, one of my baseball coaches. That was a good man. Thank you, Trent, for what you did. Mom and Dad, thank you. Older brother, thank you for letting me tag along. I appreciate it.
Next inductee is Angela Robinson and Middle Nice. Introduce her.
My wife criticized me for not talking loud enough last time when I was up here, so I'd like to use this, but Donnie messed it up. So. Anyway, I'm here to talk about Angela Robinson. You looked at the book, you saw all her accomplishments. She played for us, she had 62 wins and 20 losses, 501 strikeouts. And I do want to congratulate all the other inductees as well. As you surely gleaned from these statistics, the career of Angela Robinson, she was a great player and competitor. She worked hard from a young age and became one of the premier pitchers in Southern Illinois. She went on to be a very successful college player. She meant so much to our team from 1991 to 95 and the future of our softball program. 1991, Angela's freshman year, was my first year at the helm of Johnson City Softball. I was excited to have such a talented group of great pitchers. As most of you are aware, softball teams aren't very good without a good pitcher. And since we had Angela, we were very good. And Angela had a great defense behind her, and as well as solid hitting. That first year, we started 5 freshmen, 2 sophomores, and 2 juniors, and finished 19-8. These girls won the Black Diamond Conference title for 4 years, with Angela being the MVP of the conference all 4 years. Plus, she was the unanimous choice of the conference coaches all 4 years. By the way, as a coach, you can't vote for your own players. So I had no role in that. You could nominate them, but you couldn't vote. And no one knew this, but at the selection committee, the conference players, all the coaches would meet and select the first team and the second team, and then they would select the MVP and the captain. And when they presented, they say, okay, who are we nominating for MVP? And I'm sitting there, and every coach in that conference turned to look at me. I said, Angela Robinson. Nobody else was nominated. And she was voted MVP that year, and every year after that. Previous to 1991, in the 13 years of Johnson City Softball, had won the conference only once. This was the start of a 20-year run of our softball program, winning the conference outright 17 times and sharing 3 times. This was a direct result of a team led by Angela Robinson. Many people, including Angela, do not realize how Angela impacted the Johnson City Softball program. She was an inspiration and idol to many young, aspiring ball players. One thing I and many people know is obvious is that if any athletic program would be successful, you have to play good teams. In 1991, knowing the talent I had, I worked diligently, built this tougher schedule to improve our program. It wasn't easy because Johnson City Softball had been the doormat for so many years in his lifetime. The really good programs didn't want to play for short. Angela and her team changed all that. With our success after a couple of seasons, with Angela on the mound, we were getting the attention of the better programs in Illinois. The better teams like Aaron, Diana, Eatonville, Harrisburg, we would be very competitive and agreed to put us on their schedule. So our program flourished as a result of Angela's success. Angela, you not only a great player, but the impetus was due to the success of the Johnson City softball program and an inspiration to many girls. I might add, I think there must be something in the water out on Oregon Mine Road. I had 3 great pictures from Angela, Lindsey Grant, and Renee Bueller. Fantastic pictures, all 3 of them, living about a mile from each other. Anyway, I present Angela Rollins.
Thank you all. It's an honor to be here, and I'd like to start with thanking the Hall of Fame Committee for voting me in. Again, it's a great honor to be here. Thank you. Second, I'd like to recognize Tim Grant for putting this on. He did a great job. Can we get a round of applause for him? He's a wonderful man. I'd also like to thank all of the coaches, assistant coaches, folks that, as Billy said, have pushed me in the right direction through the years. Thank you so much for contributing to my success and the success of our teams and the future success, especially in the softball. And lastly, I would like to thank my parents. Without their support and dedication, I would not have been able to accomplish the things I have. I can't tell you how many hours they logged at tournaments for the whole weekend, and at practices, and clinics, and camps. So many I cannot count. So thank you to them. And at some point, I'd like to tell the story. The parents decided that I should start practicing more. So Danny decided that we were going to start pitching 250 pitches a day. I think 100 or 150 would have been fine, but he decided on 250. So we would go out every day at noon. I would stomp out to my pitching mound and angrily throw 250 pitches. Well, I thought it was for me all these years. Later, I realized I was walking too many people, and they wanted the games to be shorter because they're used to not being. My mom also kept track of almost every pitch I ever threw in an engineer's field book. Then I would get home, and Danny would help me put those statistics into Lotus 123. And for the 99 softball team, that was a precursor to Microsoft Excel. So we would put this into Lotus 123 because it was really important for them to show me working really hard paid off, and it made me better. And that has been consistent through my high school years, my college years, and even during my professional career. So thank you to the committee. Thank you for everyone that's here today, and especially thank you to my parents.
I'm back to talk briefly about the 1949 basketball. They lost in the first round of the state tournament. Mount Vernon, team they had beaten last regular season game of the year, here on this property in the old gym, 30-29. They ended the year 26-6. One point, they were 13-5. Then they went on a 13-game winning streak at the end of the season. The last 8 regular season games, 5 games of the regional and the sectional tournament. You get to go to Champaign. They lost to Mount Vernon in the very first game, 54-52. Mount Vernon went on to win the championship. I don't think anybody pushed them anywhere close, as close as Johnston City. In my mind, at worst, they were second in the state. They just drew the wrong team in the first round. The guys, I'm going to read off the list of players played on that team. The first 3 first 4 are still alive. Ron Hall, he lives in Texas. He did okay after high school here. He went to Bradley and played football. He ended up being the president of Citgo Gas. So he lives in Texas. He couldn't be here today. And there's Armand Mondo Ray. Last name is R.E. A friend of mine told me that Mondo holds the record. State tournament for having the shortest last name. Over the last 7 years of doing research, I've leaned on Mondo, called him on the phone, texted him, emailed him. He's always been responsive. He loves to talk about Johnston City and sports. He lives in Cincinnati, married to his high school sweetheart, Joyce. She was 2 years behind him in Johnston City High School. Mondo was a design professor at the University of Cincinnati. Old Kelly was one of the managers of the team. He's still alive and lives in Alabama. He sent me this message. He said, "Let me offer my sincere thanks for letting me join my cousin, Noble, quotes, Bucky, close quotes, Bells, and my neighbor and friend, Jack Williams, in this organization. It was with profound shock and pleasure when I received the news that I was included. Although Armand Mondo Ray had mentioned hearing talk about the 49 team being honored, I never gave any thought about me being included. Unfortunately, due to my current health situation, I will be unable to attend the banquet or games. Again, thanks to anyone and everyone involved." Coach Mark Holford, the other remaining team member, he was a freshman on the team. He's here today. The other members of the team were, the other manager was John Sandusky. He was killed in a motorcycle accident a half mile south of Marion on Route 37 in 1960. Pete Truman, he died in 2014. He was a senior on the team. He was all-state football both his junior and senior year, all-state basketball his senior year, went to U of I on a football scholarship, trying to become a starting quarterback for a knee injury. Pretty much ended that. Became a coach at Johnston City in the 50s, later, 80s or 90s, I forget. Into Marion, Cahokia. He's in the Illinois Basketball Coaches Hall of Fame. Jack Williams passed away in 2000. He was a junior on the team. He went from here to Wake Forest. We played basketball. Interrupted by 2 years in the service. Went back and played more. He was in the Wake Forest Hall of Fame. Had over 500 rebounds at Wake Forest and over 1,000 points. Charles Raymond Davies, he passed away in 1996. I met him once. His wife and my Aunt Jude were sisters. He wasn't tall, but I was told he was an excellent ball handler, passer. Did not quit. He was a sophomore. Merrill Owens, he was a senior. He passed away in 1967. Harry Stout, he was a junior on the team. He passed away in October of 2008. He aged out in December 1948. Did not play the rest of the season. Both Coach Holford, Mondo Ray have said that Harry Stout still been playing, Mount Vernon would not be 1949 state champion. Johnston City would. Harry had the school scoring record, 44 points in a game, till in late February, early March of 1964, when Tommy Thomas scored 45 points in West Frankfort, beat Denver in the regional final, 71-70. I was a freshman that year, saw that game. Later on, I saw the game where Hugh People scored 51 points in Marion High School, break the record again. Contrary to popular belief, I was not around to see Harry Stout score 44 points in 1947, 48, whatever it was. Earl Daugherty was on the team. He passed away in 2007. He was a sophomore. Spoke to his daughter in Texas. She could not be. Bill Hafley passed away in 1990. He was a senior. Spoke to his son, who lives in Florida, where Bill passed away. Dewey Crabtree. He was a junior and passed away in December of 1996. I know his son, Carter here, Chuck Atlanta. Laverne Crowe, he was a sophomore on the team, ended up coaching and teaching in Massachusetts, passed away in April of 2021. It's his son here. Marico Franciscan, my all-time favorite first name. He was a sophomore on the team. He passed away in May of 2012. George, that's you. Talked to his son George, who lives in Southern California. He said, I made him cry because he loved his father so much. His father loved his basketball team and his family. He said, I will be there. That didn't hurt that he retired from Southwest Airlines and he could fly for free. Thanks for coming. Bob Hubbard, he was a freshman. His twin boys are here. The same day. Bill and Bob. Who's who? Bill. That's a good name. That, folks, is the team. I thought I knew them all because my sister talked so much about them. She was 16 when I was born. She told me a story about Jack Williams, one of her best friends. Jack dating her best girlfriend. I think she kind of played intermediary when they were having an issue. She told me the story that Jack told her one night, they were sitting on the porch swinging, and she was babysitting me, so Jack told me, he made the prognostication that I would be the next Johnson City basketball star. I said, it's a good thing Jack could shoot the rebound because he wasn't very good at prognosticating. So those were players. A lot of their family is here. Les Lanham, Harry Stout is his uncle. These are two great grandsons. They're here. Anybody else here who's related to any of the players? What's your name?
Charles Raymond Davis.
Jack Williams is nothing.
Okay. So any of you that would like to come up, say anything before the vote, do that. Have to, it's your choice. This is your opportunity. Takers? That's you've never been shy.
I was going to tell you that, I don't know Maryland. He was a cousin of mine, married to my cousin, Virginia. And I'm also cousin to Martha Ray, who married my cousin, Joyce Lang.
Do that. Judy Pacelli, Davis is also. Coach, you want to say something? Do it from there, if you talk loud. Can you do it from there? Okay.
I was selected the first time when I first started in 2015. I was 10. I'm all there, and it's just been an honor. Thank you, Mr. Wilson, for the committee. And it was an honor to be selected. Thank you.
If I did not say that the coach of that team, Wendell Sterry, was your coach. As this building is named after him. His son, Greg Sterry, is here. Thanks for being here, Greg. Go ahead.
Football, all state and all American. And I play football, especially in Kentucky University, on a full scholarship. If I had that, I'd never win.
One other thing, they lost that game by 2 points. There were 2 technical fouls called on Johnson City in that game. Merrill Owens either touched the ball where he wasn't supposed to or stepped over this red line next to the Alabama line. I'm not sure which it was. And
the ball came to the net, and he touched it, the technical foul, and it rolled down, he was almost to the center line, the ball rolled down there, he picked it up to the referee, technical foul. The other one was, a week was the Mondo Lady report to the official, that the technical foul was not reported.
at Mondo's technical foul, he told me they had a rule, when you reported in at that time, even after telling the score, you were going in for so-and-so, you had to go tell to the referee. He said, but all during the season, all you did was kind of like give them that, and they'd say, okay. He said, they did that to the referee up there. He didn't say, okay, and give him the technical foul. So they got 2 free throws, and made it both, and they lost by 2 points. I mean, they got 2 on those 2 technicals.
Can I tell you one more thing? Can I tell you, one more thing?
You had it.
Hey, I won 15 varsity leagues. Basketball, football, baseball, and track. Except there's only one free varsity baseball. So a lot of people don't know this, but when I was a junior, yeah, we was playing in high school with baseball, and Bob Henry, not this ball, but I don't do him, I do this one here. And he was pitching, and it started to rain, drizzling, and he didn't wear no helmets that day, and the ball slipped out of his hand, and hit the curve clear out there in the temple. You know, that's what.
I read the newspaper article on that. They had an inquest, and the umpire testified, the young man batted duck. Got scared of duck, the ball hit him in the head, said head duck, when they hit him in the arm.
It was in 1951, they never played another game after that. When he was, the next game, it was all canceled in Johnson City. Started baseball being canceled, started in 1964, in 1966. And here, they never played another game. It was the 70s.
We have certificates for the players, for the families. So Josh is giving Coach over his. The Williams nephews, come on up. This is one from Jack Williams. Wendell Stern. Judy Crabtree.
Thank you.
Anybody here for Laverne Crowe? Charles Raymond Davies. Miracle Franciscan. Bob Hubbard. Harry Stout. We hear from Earl Garbery. Laverne Crowe. Pete Truitt. Lyndon, you're up again, bud.
Yes, I'm here to talk about the 99 softball team. Records are a little bit inaccurate. I think I went through I still got all my record books, all my score books. I think we have 39 wins and 4 losses. 37 and 3 in the regular season, and then 2 wins at the state tournaments and 1 loss. 24 shutouts. And these shutouts, aforementioned, were team efforts that backed with outstanding pitching, Renee Mueller and Terry Glasgow. To say coaching the 99 Lady Indian softball program is a thrill and honor and an understatement. They were motivated, they were tough, strong-willed, hard workers, great under pressure, and they were great sports. Also, they were intimidating. Several times after a win, I would talk to the opposing coach, and they'd tell me how their team was intimidated by us. Our warm-up, our reputation, our record. To say the least, these ladies were a joy to be around, joy to coach, joy to watch, and improve all year long. The 99 Indians won the Black Diamond Conference for the Johnson City for the 8th straight year and won a prestigious Aintville tournament. As you probably know, the majority of these girls were players on the 98 team that finished second at the state tournament. That year we lost a heartbreaker in the bottom of the 7th inning to Rock Island private school. And that's a familiar story here at the private school. Therefore, our girls were bound and determined to go back to state and win it all. And we came close. We lost the semifinal game in the 12th inning, 1-0 to a very talented Menard Eastland team. Many people felt like this game was the state final, because we had 2 unbelievable pitchers against each other. And unlike the 40-degree weather we faced in 1998 in Pekin, it was record heat that night. Certainly a factor in the outcome. The quarterfinal game was against Macomb, who we beat in 1998, when Renee Mueller threw a no-hitter against them. She threw another no-hitter against them the second year. Both of these no-hitters were so sweet, since the Macomb coach inferred that we must play a week schedule. That was the record. So no runs through 7 innings, and then no runs through 12 innings against Menard Eastland. 18 consecutive scoreless innings in the state tournament final. Still an IHSA record. We did go back and beat Nashville for 3rd place that year. It was a very successful and fun year, placing again at state after beating top-tier teams like Cairn, Harrisburg, Nashville, and Miami along the way. Also, our fans were terrific. We had a terrific following. Mr. Holper was right there with us. Almost every game, and his brother Dean. We really appreciated all the fan support that we got through all the years. I had great parents too. I had great parents that helped me a lot. I had a great assistant coach, and Darren Rushing and Jerry Glasgow. And so I'm going to present the 99 Lady Indian softball team as 2023 inductees. First, Darren, come on, please. Okay, I'm going to call each one of them up that are here, and forgive me, I'm going to call you by your maiden name, because I don't know that I remember all your married names. Wendy Hartman. Joy Ritter. Donnell Levine, I don't think is here. Megan Gabby is not here. Keisha Riddle. Cassie Reed. Tara Glasgow is not here. Lee Harper, I don't think is here. Chrissy Irwin's not here. Jill Sloan. Haley Davis. Kim South. Sarah Davies. I think Kim Cooper is here. Kathy Collier. Marlis Daw is not here. Heather Robinson, I don't think is here. Renee Bueller. Heather Robinson, I don't think is here. Ashley Baker. Tabitha Williams. I'll say that. Ashley Robinson. Yeah, I guess that's it. But anyway, congratulations, ladies.
Other than Coach Holford, is there anybody else here who's been inducted into the Hall of Fame previously? Renee?
Yeah.
You've been inducted before.
Yes.
Thanks for being here again. With that concludes the program. Thank you all for being here. Come again next year.